Hi everyone. Well, this evening I wanted to talk about experimentation. As an INFP, I think one of the most important things is to understand a little bit about our personality type is that we love to experiment. It could be different things. I don't really want to talk about other INFPs because although we have a similar trait in style, but we are definitely different. So I'll talk about myself, for example. In the last video, I talked about learning and development. In learning and development, I love to experiment in terms of how I deliver training. Now, the way I'm speaking now sounds very normal, sounds like a narrator, let's say. But in a classroom, I'm very different, very relaxed. I tend to jump from topic to topic. I like to work on the audience. My approach is different as opposed to a trainer that stands right in the middle of a crowd, similar to this now, what I'm about to do. I like to move around between people. I like to gauge people's interests and like to combine it into the session. You probably think, okay, that's pretty normal, but it's the way I deliver it is a little bit different. Add a touch of humor, and that's how I experiment, and I kind of see how the crowd reacts. In recruitment, for example, I tend to not focus on generic interview questions because I don't think generic interview questions work all the time. The person who's in front of you is not the same as the last or the one who's coming after. So you have to improvise in interviews, but a lot of people are very rigid. They prefer to follow a system, whereas I don't. I like to follow a free-flowing system, and I like to sort of document what I've experienced during those sessions, especially when I'm doing interview. I am also a practitioner of MBTI. What I notice is whenever I get people to do the personality test as you would, I like to talk to people. I don't just simply do the personality test and then just rely on the results. I like to talk to people, find out more, because it's those situations that actually make me a better person and make my knowledge more enhanced. So we crave knowledge. Now what I'm about to talk to you about is my experimentation with videos. When I was studying Bristol in the United Kingdom, I tend to experiment with music. And at that time, it wasn't a welcome thing in which a person who was doing hip-hop like myself would experiment and try different styles. And that time you either follow a certain style or another certain style, otherwise you were not considered into the rap game, which I disagreed with. And in those days I had my own voice and I definitely experimented, but nobody liked it because it was a different level back then. Now we live in a world where anything weird is accepted. Well, what to do? If you're a pioneer of something, I always believe you should follow your dreams, lead and others will follow. That's a saying I live by. Do what you believe in, lead the way, and others will follow. In this case, I decided to do that. Now, this is just a simple YouTube video in which I'm talking at home. But what I'm going to include in today's video is a little experiment I did with a friend of mine called Stefan. And it's a little social experiment to talk about how life in Dubai has changed somebody who comes from a different culture. And this could apply to anyone. You could be from San Francisco and move to Tokyo. And how does the culture change you? Find out. Nice to have you here. So of course, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little social experiment to see how a culture has evolved as a result of many different cultures coming into one city. Me as an Emirati that grew up in the West, and you as an African living here in the UAE, mixing with so many different cultures. Do you believe that you have changed since you've come here?
Certainly, I believe that I've been impacted by a lot of things. Amongst all those things, I would say the country.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you have a mindset when you get here, but once you get here as well, you start noticing that, okay, I think I should adjust like this, I should recalibrate like this and all that. Just to know, but it doesn't mean that it will make you change your whole personality.
It just means how you
adapt, exactly, you evolve and adapt.